And we're back. Good evening. I hope all is well. Underground World News Live. As always, let me get a mic check right at the gate. Good to see everybody out there. I want to thank everyone that shares the stream. Thank everybody that gets it out there in front of eyes that I can't reach. Thank you, John Boy. Geo. Good to see everybody out there. Silver Sailor checking in from Japan. Eon out there from somewhere Malaysia and Asia. G. Bill. Mayhem in the house. Money. Walk with God. Bones. Quantum. E-Phase. D. White. So they unsubscribed one of my mods. Crazy, isn't it, brother? The censorship, the stuff that they do is just nonstop. When you got one of your freaking mods that have been here like for years, over a decade, it's just crazy. Thank you, Eon. Vermont House, Gina, Dominique, Boomer, Susie Q, Lakeville. Good to see everybody. Raymond, Chrome, Yankee. All right, I'm glad that everything sounds good. Rick, thank you. Mississippi in the house. I did a full restart of everything on my end before we even got going. I think it flipped. And I just wanted to make sure that you can hear me good. So, Becky says I got unsubscribed too. What the is going on? Everybody go make sure you're sub still. Hit the bell notification as well, because that sends you an alert to let you know that I'm live and I've dropped videos and all that. But D White got unsubbed right at the gate. Yeah. To get it, Kelly. Lots to cover here as always tonight. If you got anything you want to get to me, dabu7@yahoo.com. I'll try to check it halfway through the stream. Just trying to keep everything here on my end where everything's good and like nothing's glitching and I can just get through a solid stream. It's just, yeah, it's weird. It's weird, brother. Yeah, anybody else that gets unsubbed, or if you have anything crazy happen to you, let me know. At me there in the chat. Or again, email me, dabu7@yahoo.com. Make sure you're following me on X as well. Kick this thing off here with a look at some movie reviews, which I normally do not do. I haven't watched movies in years. Just haven't. It's just not my forte. Back when I was younger or something, like I watched some movies, but like, man, I got rid of cable 2017. It was the closest thing I had to movies. It was watching in terms of movies. And I just disconnected. Like I spend my time researching and looking for news instead of watching shows, so to speak. Just trying to get my knowledge on, man. I've been like that for the longest time. I remember all the way back years and years and years and years ago, I would just spend my time researching. People be out doing what they do, partying at the bars, all that, and I'd hunker down. I just had this want for knowledge as much as I could get. And we're in a time where that window's like closing up. Like the censorship is so bad, you can't get information that you used to be able to get these days. That's for sure. It's already missing and gone. Trisha Ann, thank you for the coffees. That is the best way to support the channel. And much love. All right, this movie, this is The King of Kings. This is a Christian film. It outperforms many of the woke studio films at the box office. Now, in this features Pierce Brosnan, and it's produced by Angel Studios. It also has Mark Hamill from Star Wars in it, a couple other names, Uma Thurman, Forrest Whitaker, to name a few that are in this. Of course, all voices. It's like a cartoon, but nonetheless, it gets good reviews, and it's said to be a positive film instead of getting hit with all this woke crap. And on the same list, Disney's Snow White is ranked like 10th. But some people are in the movies, some people are not. Years ago, I used to have a guy named Casey on the show with me. To this day, some people that are still around confuse me with him and call me Casey. I don't know how, but that's Enter the Stars. His thing is like watching films and decoding them, or finding things in the films that are hidden. I think he had a knack for doing that. It still does. It puts out good work in terms of it. But I Pet Goat was one of them things that they put out, and then the second one that were like movies that had things, symbolism hidden within them. And those that have the eyes to see, you could see what they were doing there. Most movies coming out of Hollywood have symbolism and things of that nature embedded within them. Sigils, if you will. Things like that. All kinds of hidden stuff. Even commercials do. If you break them down, you can look up videos for hidden sigils within commercials. Just type that in, and it'll come back with clips that show little itty bitty millisecond clips that the human eye doesn't catch, that are blipped, like in the middle of the evening news, commercials, things that they know you're locked into watching. These little sigils are flashed, and it's proven. It could be as simple as just the CBS logo. CBS. It just flashed real quick on the screen. It's still a sigil. It's sigil magic, and they do this all day long. Anyhow, King of Kings, said to be a good one. Story told by Charles Dickens. If anybody out there is into the movies. An update on the New Jersey fire, which they are still fighting to contain. Apparently, a 19-year-old from Ocean Township, New Jersey, has been arrested and charged with sparking what could be the Garden State's largest wildfire in decades. Officers wrote on Facebook that Joseph King has been charged with aggravated arson and arson in connection with a wildfire that scorched, so far, 15,000 acres in Jersey. And that's in the Pine Barrens area. Jersey's not that big. Jesus is King. Yeshua, the Most High. Much love to all you out there. So this guy busted going down. Right now, the fire is just 50% contained. So it's still thousands of acres on fire. Again, Jersey not that big. You can see right here, the containment area. They're trying to, obviously, if it makes it and it burns its way toward the ocean, it's going to stop it. You have waterways that come in here right where the water is up to, and I'm supposing that they're dipping into these waterways to fight the fire. They probably, if they've knocked it back any, it's been from this side. And around Jones Road, it looks like they got a fire line held up here. Let's hope it doesn't jump that. If it doesn't, they may have this thing kind of cornered, which is what you got to do out the gate. Mr. A in the house. Been a minute, brother. Much love. That's if that's the team, Mr. A, that went to Yellowstone with me. You got to give me a shout there, brother, in the chat. I got to know. Got to know. Going to keep it pushing here. We're in a time where things are shifting. No doubt, in terms of power, we're going to need a lot of it. In terms of AI, we look to be the leaders. And to power that, we're going to need to dip into either nuclear, natural gas, coal-fired. It'd be nice if they just came out and they gave us Tesla type of energy, like right out of the ether. 0-point energy, stuff like that. I don't think we're nowhere near that yet, but we're at a turning point. You know, they outlawed coal and they shut down coal country within this country and pretty much decimated that and gas beside it when they made these moves years ago. Now, Trump is talking about bringing these things back. And what's interesting is Trump is telling every single little one of these AI places that you've got to build the power plant right next to you, which I find very peculiar. It's very weird and odd. Everything, as you know, is fed by the grid. But they're making sure that these things are independently fed. These AI hubs. You would have to literally attack its power hub within the property where this thing sits to try to shut its lights out. Each and every one. Which is pretty strategic. It's strategic militarily. Like, you know, if the grid was going to go down, they would stay operational. I find it just kind of odd that they're being mandated to do this. I pay attention to these little details. Like, they're literally building, they are being told they have to build their own power plant on site, which is the first ever. No one's ever been told that. Oh, yeah, you can open up shop, you can do business here in this county, in this state, but you got to build your own power plant. And take your pick, natural gas, nuclear, coal. We'll even let you do coal. That's what he said. But you've got to come up with the money to do this at that point. I'm just saying, that's how they're setting this whole thing up. Everything is shifting. It's shifting around. Natural gas, they say, looks to be the most affordable, the most reliable, and the cleanest out there when you put everything together. Now, the fact that solar's on the expensive side takes it out of the equation. In terms of reliability, in terms of good power, solar is good. Wind is like the bottom of the list. It's expensive, high upkeep, high maintenance. You see these things going down all the time in big windstorms. And, I mean, you would think that in an event like that, you'd be getting a lot of power, a bigger wind burst. But no, it'll break these things. Jenna, underground member for 7 months. Well, it's always good to have a well on your property as well. If you've got natural resources on your property, you really can't go wrong, in my opinion. If you've got coal seams, and where there's coal, there's usually gas, or vice versa. I've had several people tell me that do this for a living, that have been all throughout this area. But I'll tell you personally, as long as you've got them tied down in a good racking system, solar it's been good to me. It's been good to me. I'm 100% off grid, dude. Like, yeah. Starlink and I've never even shown you guys my setup. But yeah, I was getting to winter and I was testing, especially when you're on also, and I was and have been. Only 6 hours daylight. So you can calculate what you need in terms of power banks, panels, and all that. It's eliminated an electric bill, so to speak, and that was the whole point. And just get ready for a lockdown event. But get everything locked down in predictions of the deadliest, craziest time of my life. And it was when a real lockdown situation, like people were dead. And it was profound enough that I've spent the last 5 years of my life climbing mountains and searching properties and all that and building to get ready for that event. They didn't just run us through a beta test for nothing, and I'm not losing sight of that. It seems everybody else, for the most part, is, which sucks. It just sucks because I can see it large scale. Too much winning going on out here. They didn't get blindsided by a train that's coming. It never fails. I mean, can't even understand me. 5x5 good now. Audio. I like it. I don't get it. Like, I don't get it, man. Buffering. No audio now. Back 5x5. Audio messed up again. Refreshing. It's okay. Can't hear. Make sure that we get cleared up here. Everything on my end seems to be running fine. So, Adams is back. John Boyce is back. Bunch of 5x5s. Yeah, I got to make sure that we're good before I keep on pushing. It's ridiculous how my stream just drops hundreds of people at a time, all the time, and then this happens. So, loud and clear now, I'm getting in 5x5s. Nothing wrong with the sound, Lisa says. It's back and good now. Alright, again, gonna lean on you guys, mods. When I see the blue lit up 5x5s, I know I'm good. Just gonna keep it pushing. California. Viral video here after a daughter's ambulance bill gets tripled from $600 to $2,000 after he told them he has insurance, which is crazy. Now, how many other people out there are getting scammed like this, I don't know. But I'm going to play this clip of this guy, and we'll see how the audio runs with all this.
How can I help you? So I think there's a mistake on the bill, but maybe you could help me out. We got a bill, and then we realized that you guys didn't have our insurance, so we sent you the insurance, and it looks like the bill went up.
It went up?
Yeah, the first bill we got without the insurance was $600, and then the second one was almost $1,300.
Okay. Yeah, so that the first invoice you received, that's a discount that you receive if you're uninsured. So you're not eligible for the discount since you are insured. And so the bill was $2,342.14. We billed your insurance. Your insurance only paid $1,007.
So if it's hard for you to hear that, this guy's trying to give him excuse for basically getting ripped off. They're overcharging this guy, and it's probably happened to many other people out there as well. An update here on the AI in this race against China, because it looks like it's at the top of everything here. AI, this trade war, where it all goes into the next 2 years, I feel is going to be critical. Remember, China has announced that they're gonna take Taiwan back by 2027. So we're like on the clock. Time's flying by. Thank you, Star Fury. What? Just got an alert. Virginia Guffrey just passed away. Thank you, Star Fury. And live updates like that, I love, Thank you. Appreciate it to the fullest. It's unfortunate. And especially who it is, because a key person and witness tied into everything with Epstein. Like, are you kidding me? Can't keep her alive long enough to get something going. It's because they delayed it and they stalled it. And you guys see it. Trump's doing it too. They're doing it too. They're kicking the can down the road. Every time that a reporter brings it up, and the reporter's only allowed, this stuff's all staged. They already know what they're going to say, all these other things. It's not like they're ever caught off guard, really. It's staged. It's an orchestration, man. Made to look like it's not. That's what we live in. It's an orchestration full of actors at the highest levels. And, anyway, its point is big. I'm going to tell you that, like, the winner of this AI thing truly is going to be, like, who leads the world for a very long time to come. My suspicion is that we're being set up. They're going to put it on us. It's going to involve China. Obviously, they've got 1 million men hidden here right now, hiding in shadows. Property right next to all of our bases, and they're embedded within all of our. It's an absolute setup. All they got to do is down. All that happened in the United States. I'm here to tell you that it's destined to happen. This place is destined to come down. The Masons never hid this. It's part of the black magic as well. That you've got to tell the people the truth. You've got to put it out there. Whether you hide it in sigils, you just flat out tell them. Manly P. Hall did just that. He wrote a book called The Secret Destiny of America. And he was a master mason that knew all the workings, all the secrets, all of everything. And he spoke on it openly. He just did. And he even wrote a book on it. And because he did, Mason or not, he gave us a glimpse of the inside and what is to come. And that they set this whole place up. It is described as being the new Atlantis. It was designed to, that's what they called it. It was designed to be brought down. Just like some towers that I know of. And it's all occult ritual. Okay? So this country, they left their signature all over DC in their little area. And remember that DC is not even really a part of this country if you don't know. It's really not. It's got its own rules, its own laws, its own police, jails, all that. It's its own 10 by 10 or whatever the size is area. And it's unique where it sits outside of the United States, which the United States is a corporation if you don't know. Anyway, you are an employee of that corporation. Your employee number is your social security number to this corporation. These are facts, Jack. Getting so sick of looking over and just take one glance over at the chat, and there's some kind of issue people are saying with audio. It's fine again. Well. I got like the minimal amount of stuff running and everything else, and like OBS is not cutting out on me like nothing. Yeah. I'm just going to keep it pushing. Jump into the economic stuff here. The very first bit of shock is hitting the ports. The Port of Los Angeles is seeing this. They're saying there's going to be a ripple effect across the country and the economy. Now, if you don't know, Trump put these tariffs into motion, and then he backed off of most of the tariffs from most of the countries, besides the ones aimed at China. And this is part of the main mechanism of the trade war. The U.S. economy, the Chinese economy. Really, they both rely on one another heavily. and I'm talking heavily. If you take one away, the other one's going to be hurting bad. There's no other way around it, the way that it's set up. So ultimately here, this is hurting the people of China, and it's hurting the people of America, because we're paying for it. That's who's paying for it. We're paying higher prices for everything. Trump's acting like he's going to work a deal out with China, but I don't know if that's the case here. Some of the things that are going to be affected here the most in this, if you don't know, before you get blindsided by it, are cell phones, computers, exotic machinery parts, and things like that. Like for certain businesses that need certain little parts for their machines. Things like that are going to be harder to get. That's what's going to be affected. Phones at the top, and computers I worry about, because everything is computer based. And if you can't get certain parts for computers, like, people are done. How much did Microsoft and Dell and all these companies use China for parts? Nobody knows the answer. I'm going to say a lot, because everybody has. And because we don't make the parts, it's going to hurt us, man. So I'm just saying, those are some of the things to watch out for. Now look, there's an ironic twist to this. Things are heating up between a lot of different countries. Now we've got the situation going on between India and Pakistan. I'm going to report more on that here when I get into the war stuff. But India is throwing Trump an olive branch, so to speak, in terms of Harley Davidson, saying that they'll reduce the tariffs and all this stuff on Harley Davidson parts or this and that. And it just shows that they're willing to work with the U.S. Now, the United States has been helping India for a long time, okay? I'm going to take you back just a few months ago when Elon and Vivek Ramaswamy, who is Indian, pitched a plan to bring in a ton of Indian workers to replace what they called lazy Americans. People got pissed off when they found out about that, and it was right after that they removed Vivek from Doge. Right after. And they tried to sweep that all under the rug. And shift him over to another area. I think we're in Ohio. Anyhow, this whole thing with India, I think, weighs big, because India is key. If we were to go to war, we need India. India is the eye in BRICS. It's a big deal. Even though they don't get along with Pakistan or China all the time at their border areas, including currently, when it comes to world war, how's this going to fall? Really? India is a crucial piece. And we've never been at major odds with India, and we're not right now. So, where I'm from, you go into certain gas stations all over the place. It's all over. And Indians are running them. And they've straight up told me in the past, because I've gotten to know some over the years, straight up, while they brought here through programs, through their government and all this other stuff, basically that our tax dollars paid for. And incentives to where if they come here being a foreigner, they're given grants that they don't have to pay back to run gas stations, to do all this stuff. We don't get that opportunity, and it pisses me off. Because I'm born here in America, I don't get none of those grants. I don't get to pay back. I don't get none of it. I get spat on. I get called every name in the book, a domestic extremist. You name it. They hate the white man. They sure do. And they'll do everything in their power to replace me, which is what they've been doing everywhere, all across the globe. For whatever reason, And they fear so much that they call everything, oh, it's Nazi, you're a Nazi, you're a Nazi. It's always that. You're white supremacist, it's always that. You're a white supremacist, it's always that. They fear something, obviously. There's going to be nothing left if they have it their way. And it pisses me off of all these places. Like, I don't want to see this for no country. Like parts of Africa. I wouldn't want to see white man roll in there and take over an historically black place and muddy the waters where you don't know the history. Just like I wouldn't want all kinds of people coming up into Ireland and muddying the waters. Same with UK. If you try to go over there right now and you walk through the streets, you wouldn't even know where you were at. Bet. It's that bad. And see, they're a lot smaller countries, so the migrant problem is exploded that much worse. And I've told you, show after show after show, it's disgusting in the UK. They won't even allow the white men basically to sign up to be cops. And the white men that are cops, they have to go through, what do they call it? Because of their, the white privilege, they got to take classes and all this crap. It's pathetic, man. Like, everyone should be proud of their nation and their background, and we should be able to go back. I mean, this country should be able to hold up their historical background. Italy rejected all the migrants and kicked them out because, well, they weren't going to play that game. And odd enough, it was the Pope calling for all this throughout Europe. He said, oh yeah, come on, bring them across the Mediterranean. George Soros paid for it, right? Get all these guys ready, send them across the Mediterranean. They invade all these countries that aren't ready for it. The guys weren't meant to go there and assimilate. They were meant to go cause chaos. And that's what they've done. And remember, the Pope was saying, take them into your homes. And then when they came up to the Vatican, he didn't let them in. Talk about the hypocrisy. He wouldn't let them in. You sit there and tell all you people that absolute strangers, rapists, and all this into your homes when they wouldn't even do it. It's pathetic. So that's the synagogue of Satan anyway. Check this out. In Lakeville, a membership, thank you. Apple turbocharges friendshoring. Your next iPhone could be made where? India. Told you. I don't see how the United States doesn't align with India in this setting. When everyone around over there, like, you got to have an ally somewhere. You're not getting along with China. You ain't getting along good with Russia. Pakistan's wish-washy. You just don't know. I'm going to get back to that again here in a second. But yeah, man. Trump's changing the face of how business is going to be done for years to come. Because if China's got 150% tariffs on it, and like India gets dropped to like 10, like just the base tariffs that are still ongoing, then like a bunch of businesses are going to jump to India over in Asia. They'll pivot. And this would be big for India. They would be a huge ally in that sense. They have been up to this point. I think they're our biggest ally and our biggest chance in the area. They are the most populated country in the world. They are the dominant. They've surpassed China. China's going in reverse. Don't forget, their population is. They got to fix that. Even we are here in the United States. Trump just came out and said that he's offering, or they're thinking about offering, up to $5,000 checks to women to have babies in this country. Because we're going in reverse. And if you don't correct that somewhere at some point, you cease to exist. China did it to it themselves with the no baby policy for years, and then, executing tens of millions of their own freaking people, putting them in ditches, genocide. Yeah, if you forgot what China's all about, all right? How they have no problem with murdering people. And neither does Russia. Don't get it twisted. They are murdering tons and tons of people in Ukraine every day. I see the videos all the time. I got channels that I follow that like won't even allow you to share their stuff. They're on X or anything. You just have to follow them and you can either like it and watch it or nothing. And like, I see it, and it continues constantly. And they're kidnapping these men. They're kidnapping them off the streets of Ukraine. I pray to God to save them. Pray to God to save them. Could you imagine being a youth right now? I mean, I've seen them run them down in ball fields. I've seen them chase them down in bars. I've seen them knock them off of bikes and throw them in the van. Off they go to the front lines. Kicking and screaming, never to see their family again. Nothing. That's crazy. Never to see their family again. Just immediately sent in, trained for like a day or two, maybe a week if they're lucky, and off straight to the front lines. You know, and I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of it. I have to see it all the time. I don't show you guys, obviously. I don't even tweet it out. It's so gory and graphic all the time. Even everything with Israel. Everything that they're doing. Every war front. Everywhere they're at. It's just body parts. It's insane, man. We are living in a crazy, war-torn time on this planet. Where they're just mauling our people. Innocent people, for the most part. That's all I ever see. It's mostly women and children mauled all over the place. It's disgusting. Every now and then, strike on some leader of some place, but no, a lot of innocent people. Anyhow, goods from India. Keep that at the top of your mind frame, because if you've got a chance to order something that's being produced somewhere or made, I would lean India from here. That's where it's going. I got a feeling China's going to pull the rug on us. We got an attack coming, and whether they really do it or it's staged and blamed on them, it's all on them. Okay? The history book's going to have to blame somebody, and I think they're prepared for it. I think we're set up right now, like a Trojan horse. You got all these militant aged men that are hiding here. Over 1 million of them. And 1 million Chinese militant trained men can do a lot of damage, I'm going to tell you. And they don't have to do it the way you think. They don't have to come out slicing throats and firing around. They don't have to attack a soul. All they got to do is attack infrastructure, to be honest with you, and we're done. A watchman. Thank you. I appreciate that super chat. Appreciate it all. To the fullest. Germany downgrades their outlook of growth. They now expect, and listen clearly, a recession for a record third year. They blame Trump. I can even blame him for anything that's happened up to this point. You can't. They don't even want to dare put it on Biden and everything that they caused and what got us here. I told you we've been in a recession for a minute. At least they are strong enough to admit it, that it's 3 years now. And I've been telling you this for a couple of years now. It's felt like it. You know, coming out of everything with lockdowns, like they've got us in a recession. Now that the Trump administration is actually speaking on recession, it's scary because we're one event away from a depression. Lights out, the attack the banks, can't get your money out, infrastructure gets hit. It's all it takes. One event right now, man. It's so scary. We're right there. We're on the doorstep. And we go into depression. Remember, as I said on the last stream, the Great Depression was manufactured. It was planned. It was plotted by J.P. Morgan Chase and the goons. They got together. This is a fact. You can look this up and learn this. When you look back at history and see that we were robbed by a bunch of greedy rich men, that seeds still operate today, you'll understand that they're about to do it again. They had no problem doing it last time. All they did was stole everybody's wealth and made themselves 100,000 times richer. And they're about to do it again. And I've warned you a zillion times when they take down the stock market. Because everyone's 401ks are in it, and they're going to get liquidated. And they're going to get left holding the bag, unfortunately. And I've done everything I can to warn everyone. You just can't be in it. You just can't be in it when it comes down. There's no other way around it. I got people saying, well, look, I got to draw off of it or I'm done. Well, take it out and draw off of it. If you're of age and you're over where you're not going to get penalized, take it out and draw off of it. If you're only taking out so much a month to live off of anyway, well, just take it out of your closet safe. You're going to have to do this. You're going to have to. Because when it's gone, it's gone. You can't draw off of something that's not there no more. And they're about to liquidate everybody. That's the move. That is the move. What do you think? The stock market crashes. The bubble pops. Where do you think everything goes? It does not just disappear, man. Rich men take it. Like they always do. And they're going to do it again. Big time. This time like you've never seen in your life. And it's going to be the Great Reset. You've known about this. They've telegraphed it this whole time through the World Economic Forum and everything else. But Trump is their man. He has been sent to do it, and it's come out of his own freaking mouth. The Gentile Messiah, sure enough. So, I'm ready for it. They've told us flat out. He said it too. So, can't be too surprised when it happens. I think this whole thing between China and the United States is just, it's to kick everything into motion here, obviously. Get the ball rolling. I told you how China and many different businesses there are already hurting. Some are shutting down. They can't get certain goods just like we can't get certain goods. So it's a two-way street here. They don't get to just say, you guys can't get chips, computer chips. We got you. Like, no. There's tons of other businesses. Like I said, man, this whole world, our whole life, whether you realize it or not, has been designed and is ran on the Chinese economy and the United States economy, by and large. The two biggest. It just is, and you know it. It's always been this way. My whole life growing up, just flip anything over, it's made in China. Any electronic item. You know? And they're known for stealing our intellectual property rights and making knockoffs all the time to sell it cheaper. And they still do it. All day long. And they do rule in certain categories. It's just the way that it is. They're dominant in certain areas. Every country is. So, I mean, if we ever went to hot war with them, it's a setup. They got 1 million guys here. They'll turn our lights out quick. Like, we almost can't even get involved in Taiwan. The moment that you get involved and engage and kinetic warfare, with actual warfare with China, especially in the South China Sea, on their doorstep, especially Taiwan, you know, it's like our Cuba situation. They'll be right up at, we're like right up in their belly. We go over there. They will hit us. But they can only do it if we were set up. Just like certain towers can only come down if they were laced with explosives. You feel me? It's that grandiose of a setup. It's been decades. It's time. And this one's going to be aimed at economic 9/11. They got it rolling now. We're here. We're in this thing. So China heating up this war as the dollar gets wrecked. And Trump wanted that anyway. Again, he said it. They're shifting away from U.S. treasuries, and they're turning toward what? Gold, as they always have. And what else? Crypto. So crypto, gold. The top two things here that they're hedging their bets on. So they're not using U.S. dollars and buying treasuries or bonds anymore. This is the route they're going, which is only going to increase gold. Gold's just slow burner, man, like a Cuban cigar, just uphill. It's just, gold, you can't beat it. You're going to wish you had a stack of silver to go along with that gold, though. I'm telling you, a bag or 2 or 3. Because silver's going to explode here any moment, anytime. It's literally bouncing off the roof, bouncing off the roof, bouncing off the roof. And it's just going to go through. It has to play catch up to gold. Gold, If gold breaks 5,000, it's a mental thing. It's a mental thing. People, dude, it creates FOMO. And a FOMO all the way to 10. And then in a FOMO even more from there to 20. I'm telling you. And when they come out and tell you there's no gold in the vaults in Fort Knox, that thing of freaking FOMO to 100,000. It won't matter what you value it in dollars at that point, because the dollar won't be worth nothing. You understand that? Do people really realize that? What's the sense in saying gold's worth $20,000 when the US dollar's worth nothing? It's like Venezuelan money. You can make a basket out of the money and no one would want it. Literally. It's that crazy. But they're not gonna wipe us out like that. That's not the plan. That's not what they're saying. That's not what they're telegraphing. It doesn't look to be at all. They want to install a brand new system. They want to reset this thing. They don't want to kill the dollar all the way. It'll never happen. So get that out of your mind. We may go into a depression type of era. We did last time. The dollar still survived, right? What's some of the things they did in the past, though? They confiscated gold. And that's been one of my big warnings right there, is if there's no gold in the vaults, that'll be one of the first things that happen, that's brought up. And it's an easy one to play, because if I was a bad guy, an investigator always has to put himself in the shoes of the bad guy to figure out the situation. If I'm the bad guy in that whole thing, if I'm the bad guys, I would turn around and tell the people, even if they just took the gold right now, if it's still sitting there tonight and they're not getting it out, if they're just simply going to tell everybody, hey, they sold it apparently long ago. Everybody involved's dead and gone. Who are you going to hold accountable? No one. They haven't even told you a single person that's going to jail out of all the trillions of stuff Doge just found. And Elon's about done. He's like, oh yeah, here in a couple weeks, I'm out of here. It's okay. They come in, did all this. Pam Bondi's over there kicking the Epstein can down the road. And they're throwing you garbage releases that nobody even wanted. Really, because there's nothing in them. JFK, RFK, all this stuff, there's nothing in them. There's nothing bombshell. And Trump even alluded to the fact that people seem to still be upset because they didn't get what they wanted. But he goes, we gave it to them. We gave them everything. Like, oh, really? So now they're playing the card that you got everything. And it's a lie. It's a bold-faced lie. So, a reset's about to happen. Don't get it twisted. In terms of big events, that's what I'm looking at. A reset, the scariest thing that's going to happen is H5N1 release. Those are the two biggest things on Trump's watch that you need to be watching for. Not, in my opinion, not an EMP. They do a cyber attack before they do that, in a sense. I would think, strategic-wise, if they just want to reset the system as you're talking economic 9/11. It's shifting over to their CBDC that's not a CBDC. It's a blockchain that they control. You see what I'm saying? It's a blockchain that they can track and trace everything that you do. But you see, they have to have control of it, first and foremost. If somebody else has a blockchain that they don't have control of, they can't. That's not gonna hurt you. You see what I'm saying? I say it all the time because people get freaked out, and you have to be educated on the whole thing. It's just like a gun. It's just like a laser. If the cops come, the military come with guns, people say, oh, guns are bad, but no. You can use the same gun to save your damn life, and you know this. Same thing with the laser. You can apply the same thing to anything. A car. I've given the example 1,000 times. So, again, it's not the technology, it's the people utilizing it. And as long as we've got bad people in power, it doesn't matter what it is. They're going to do bad things with it. It's just the name of the game. That's always been the warning. So, keep it pushing here. Let's jump over. Bitcoin extending gains as the Fed pulls Biden-era guidance on crypto dealings. Now, one thing I would recommend that you learn to do is short. What have we been talking about this whole time? What does everybody fear? You fear everything coming down, losing everything. Well, why not bet on it? And actually, I don't know, try to play a smart card. And if the whole thing's coming down, make a killing on the way down. That's what the big boys do. But yet most people are not even taught how to short. And I'm telling you, it's a key. It's key. When you know the whole thing, we're all expecting this thing to come down, well then jump short. People look at me like, what? What's a short? A short is when you bet that the market's going to come down, or a stock is going to come down, or a crypto is going to come down. And when it does, you can make a killing. So even if Tesla was going to come down, you could short it. If you knew this, before all these attacks, if you knew about all this, if you knew that they were going to launch Tesla takedowns and all this, think about it. Think smart about it. All you had to do is go short Tesla because you knew the stock was going to come down and get tore down. And it has been. Has it not? Has it not? It has. Like clockwork. So much so that that's the excuse that Elon's using to step down, saying he's getting back to Tesla because the stock price has dipped so much because of all these attacks. Okay? So it's an easy way when you know something's going to get tore down, just short it. Don't be in it. Don't own the stock. Short it. It's a double-edged sword here, and people have never really been taught how to short. I'm telling you. In this day and age, it can be the difference maker. It can be what makes you rich, wealthy. The difference maker between sitting with nothing, a bag empty, that they stole from you in the end, or, again, riding it all the way down. Now, you can do this in anything. It's easiest, well, I don't even know what site to tell you to go to. If you're in stocks and you got a 401k, you know what you're working with. I know I learned how to short through crypto and Bitcoin because everything must come down. And crypto is no different than stocks. Crypto has more volatility than stocks, okay? Now, if you're someone that just wants to invest in something, slow burn, long investment, hop in, and you're okay with that, that's fine. For people that want to day trade and make money on the daily and get it while the getting is good, you have to have volatility. You have to have ups and downs to trade in and out of. The stock market really hasn't had all that, all right? Crypto comes along, massive volatility. That's why the market's worth so much. It just passed silver. It just passed Google in terms of how much money is in the market cap. That's how big of a juggernaut it is. You shouldn't ignore it. You should be educated on it. And if there's an opportunity for you to make a killing, why would you pass it up? I'm trying to give you keys to the game, tools to the game. Here. I'm telling you, the big boys out here, and criminals as well out here, because forms and fashions of this, they would say is illegal. But guys do this all the time. They will go and invest in some company, a bunch of stocks, and then they'll just let it go. They'll trash it. They'll let it fall apart. They'll let it drive into the ground. The worse, the better. The worse, the harder you can crash that stock, the better, because they're shorting it. I'm telling you, it's the position to take. Now, when you watch Warren Buffett and Jamie Dimon and all these rich guys sitting on the sidelines with what they're trying to tell you is a record amount of cash, well, hold on, don't be fooled. They don't have to be sitting in silence. They haven't bought is what they haven't done, which is a tall tale sign. What they could have done is set a short, and you don't even freaking know it. All right, and I'm here to tell you that's what's being done, okay? So when the whole market falls out, you can make a killing. You can actually get rich off that. You could have missed the whole upswing, and when this thing falls apart, make your move. I'm telling you, people are going to do it. Smart cats are going to do it. And they may even not get rich. It may be just enough to keep them afloat, to break even, so to speak. But it's a move that needs to be made. I definitely, again, I would not get caught with my my money in any of these bags tied to the 401ks, to the stock market. And I don't know how hard these days they've made it for people to try to short in the stock market. I don't know that, but I do know that you can do it rather easily over in crypto land. And if you're ever interested, you can just email me and I'll try to educate you on the differences. So, you know, my wish and dream is that one day one of us righteous people can hit it big so we can do this thing the right way. I see people saying, go invest and feed the poor and do all these things. Right. Well, like, all types of good things. When someone actually needs something, like, you can help. Like, someone up the road gets their house burnt down and living out of a camper, family 10 or some crap. Like, you can go and you can, like, build them a house. And, like, you can do the righteous things that someone needs to do in this life. And set the example. Someone's got to do it. And if no one else out there is going to do it and do it the right way, I ask God to let one of us do it. I'll do it, for crying out loud. But it takes means, obviously. And to get to the highest levels, billionaire status, like, who can wage war with the beast? Let's just be honest about it. Where we're at. If Gaddafi could not defeat this beast, Saddam, none of them guys with war chests, with hordes, with armies, what is anybody here going to do? What is anybody going to do? Who can wage war with the beast? Who's the prime candidate? You could get the list of billionaires and richest men out there, and every single one of them part of the club. Ain't one of them good. That's why I put my faith in the Most High, in the Messiah, the King of Kings, to come back and set this place straight. But in the meantime, like, if you can't wage war with the beast, then what can you do? Well, if you had the means, you can help others. You can help them to survive and get by. And avoid the affliction of the beast. Take them underground. I got a funny feeling that's where some of us have spent our last days. Won't even be safe roaming up here. Just where I know this is going, it may even be a decade, but this place is going to be bad. When the drones are crisscrossing, trying to hunt us, purebloods, what's left, they're trying to hunt us down like animals. At that point, the only pockets of people will exist, like underground pockets. And this would be a repeat of history, because this is why the ancients have done it and all this other stuff time after time after time. The safest place was to go underground. Some of the ancient ancestors, the Hopi, they did it themselves, and they write of it. They went under into the earth, and they came out in the Grand Canyon, of which we can't go explore because the feds and all that, they won't let us. And I wonder why. Because you'd start to figure things out. You'd probably see magical stuff. They won't even let you fly over certain areas of the Grand Canyon. Why is that? Why would that possibly be? To hide stuff. And we know this. Anyway. I'm gonna keep it pushing here. Top of the hour. Much love to everybody out there. Hope everybody's doing good. Yeah, we touched on the whole thing with Virginia dying earlier. For people just rolling in, who is Virginia Guffrey? She is the woman that was tied into the whole Epstein scandal. One of the only alive, big time people connected to the whole thing that was giving testimony. With Prince Andrew is who she slept with, and all this and that. Well, now she's dead. So Yeah, that's the word. So, it just... Now, apparently, she got into a crazy wreck here recently. I believe this is what happened. And she put the images out, and she said she was about to die. And I'm like, what? And said she had like kidney failure going on, like, because of the damage. And like, she looked banged up, but I mean, she was talking, she was fine, like right there in the hospital bed, putting the stuff out. And here it is tonight. They're saying she's dead. After they came out with an update saying that she looked to like get better. That's exactly what they did with Tupac. They kill everyone, man. They kill everyone. It's a killing machine, man. It's a dark, nasty beast. Okay, let me continue here and keep this pushing. And get me finish up with the economic stuff here. And I'll do an update at the end of the stream on the Underground Project, as I've been doing, to answer any questions there, instead of trying to pull anything up here. I'm trying to keep the stream going, flowing on my end as smooth as possible. And every time I get to a story, I exit out a tab, and it's just my computer should run smoother and smoother and smoother and smoother every time I do that, if it's on my end. But again, my OBS hasn't been cutting out. I refreshed beforehand, and everything is shown from what I can tell on my end good. So, the feds, F them. I can't stand none of them. Chances are, if I ever die or anything crazy happens to me, this is who would be responsible. The same ones that kill everyone. Well, they pull back a Biden-era guidance on banks reporting crypto dealings. So this is pretty big. This is just busting the door open for another, I'm going to say, a bull run from here. We had predicted that by summer, by the time it was warm out, we were going to be hitting another high. 72 was my low on Bitcoin. The window on the pullback. I've been doing charting a long time, and it's starting to pay off. What I can just, you can look, certain things, certain setups, and all this other stuff. And the upper floor to this was around 76. There was a little window down there that you try to, a pocket you try to hit, the golden windows you would call it, of $3,000 or $4,000. Try to target right within that range. And it dropped down like 75, 76, something like that, close enough. So you could check it off. There's been a recovery, and with all this bullish news, I think Bitcoin broke all the way up to, all right, above 95,000, saying right here. I haven't even had time to go over and look, but this is bullish for the whole space, for anything involved in it. You're going to see a ton of money running into this thing, and my guess is if it's going to go up and like touch the highs again, like the 110 area, it runs up and sets all new highs. It blows the doors off of it. It goes up 120, 150 range. It's where I'm seeing this going from here. It's primed to do it, unless, FUD, crazy news can come along that derails it. Like a quantum computer they just invented one day that, like, breaks Bitcoin. That would, like, do away with it. That'd be that Bitcoin killer. Literally the only thing. And it may happen one day. But, nothing lasts forever out here. But as long as they're pushing AI and all this stuff, I'm telling you, Bitcoin, I foresee, it's probably going to run upwards of $1 million by 2030. That's how I see it. I see this storming up. It's got psychological levels, just like with gold earlier. When gold hits 5,000, it's going to go bananas. Like, you get up and you break $250,000. It's a psychological barrier right there, and Bitcoin would go bananas up further, and everything has its ups and downs. Anyhow, Gold is the everything edge. I think I've said it on almost any and every stream. Updates on gold and silver. If you can buy gold and silver, buy it. Get it in your arsenal, man. I've been saying this since 2017. And gold has over tripled since then. I told you, silver keeps hitting a ceiling. But back when silver was like $12 and all this stuff, we were telling people to get it. It's more than doubled itself. So, I'm telling you, this is the move. If you're out shopping, yard sales, anything like that, you come across some old silver, get it. Peter Schiff says that gold's rise is a warning that everyone is ignoring. And I don't think everyone's ignoring it. I think that, yeah, I agree with him with a ton of things. Disagree with on a few. But this would be one of the places where I would disagree a little. And thank you, Lewis, for the coffees and all the love and support. Much love right back. He says that everyone's kind of ignoring it. I feel like people are just hurting. And he's saying this because he's not seeing people get into gold as much as he would like. And I just feel people are hurting, man. Well, come on, I just told you, recession, we're one event away from a depression and all this other stuff, like. So, I mean, gold's going to continue to rise, without a doubt, in my eyes, all right? And amid the worst start to a year on record. That's pretty crazy. The worst start of a year ever for the dollar. That's not good. But they're saying it's not dying. And I don't think it's going to die. I done told you this. I think it's going to go down to life support. And where they may have to confiscate the nation's gold. Depending on a few different situations here. Let's just hope not. Let's hope that doesn't go down. That's a worst case scenario. But that's something that they would do. And why would they miss on that opportunity is my thinking. So that's scary. Here's a positive. I didn't think I would see this, and it would be a direct repercussion of Trump and his moves here. But it seems to be. The WHO conducting mass layoffs because money's getting yanked. And it's like, good, if that's all it took, if that's all it ever took, it should have been done earlier. It wouldn't have been done under Biden. But here Trump, he's at least doing this stuff. Because these guys were trying to act like world dictators during lockdowns. Especially this dude right here. If you guys forgot. He was calling all the shots. And he was getting a lot of his ideas from China. And China was dictating things. Giving him ideas. And he was pushing orders out. And the whole world was like bowing down to it. Partner. I don't think so. Like, you kick rocks. You just hop in line behind Klosh, buddy. You're about to catch charges. Like, and they better stick. Because all too often, nothing happens. Like I said earlier, I'm getting sick. A lot of people are getting sick of seeing no one get arrested. And I'm not talking about small timers. People want to see big timers. Part of the game thrown away, locked up, key thrown away, you know? What happened to the world stage of the world is a stage. World is a stage, but it's a game to be played. Okay? They've obviously got it broke down to a left-right paradigm. And they play at odds against one another. But what one does, what either one of them do, affects all of us. Again, Tedros here thought he was world dictator during lockdowns. But like, if their power is taken from them, then they can't do that again. And I'm down with that. So there's certain things, look, I rip Trump all the time when he deserves it. You all know it. But when something positive comes along, it's only fair to shed the light on it. Because that's how a truthful person would do it. Okay? You don't just hop on one side. I ain't falling in it. I don't play that game. Not around here. We're beyond that. I'm levels beyond the left-right paradigm. I'm sorry if some of you can't get out of it, or if you're stuck in it. I try my best to wake people up to it all the time. Sometimes it's baby steps, as you probably know, because you've got people that you're working on trying to wake up, and some of them are hard nut to crack, right? But as world events happen and things happen, people see things, and as they start to see things, some things are just undeniable, and it starts to waking people up. So here's a positive one. Milwaukee judge arrested by the FBI for obstructing ISIS moves that they're trying to make. She scurries away from the press after leaving the federal courthouse. She caught 2 felonies here. And they're going to make an example out of her. And anyone else, let this be a point. If they're going to go after a judge, I'm telling you, mayors are next. That's right. That's right. They're going to be going after people. If you're holding a killer in a jail cell right now tonight, and agents show up to grab that killer and get him out of this country, and you're stopping them, like, you're going down. You're going down. There's only one of 2 ways about it. You either for refuging these killers and keeping them here, which is crazy, so they can release them in the streets and they can rape your women and children and kill them, or getting them out, which is the obvious, intelligent thing to do. So that needs to happen. Anyone trying to obstruct that can go down, as far as I can tell, as far as I can say. You're just as bad as him. It's treason. It's like, who are you working for? Who are you rooting for? Like, what Kool-Aid you been sipping? Like, you working for the enemy? Bringing in you're harboring killers and rapists? Like, you should be put away for that alone, for harboring the enemy. Straight up. Every one of them. This has nothing to do with the politics, left, right, Trump. This is good or bad. You're doing stuff like that, you need checked. And we ain't seeing enough of it. I just told you, we're not seeing enough of it. Let me move on to this next one. Prosecutors file a notice to seek the death penalty for Luigi Mangione. This is the guy that assassinated or killed the UnitedHealth CEO. And the reason I want to touch on this is because I feel that when they make a move on him, because he's highly publicized, right? The left is already attached to him like he's some figure. He's some, like, messianic figure. If they go to kill him, they're gonna freak. You're gonna, like, you thought Tesla takedowns was something. They're gonna revolt. This is like their messianic leader, so to speak. You know, like, out of nowhere. It's what it's become, if you haven't been keeping track of this. Even, like, well-known people giving him praise from the left and pundits and stuff. And backing him and all this stuff. And, like, making comments like, somebody should carry on his work and take it to the next level. And that, you've seen all the threats Trump's got and all this other stuff. They fly out there. That's for real. But I feel like this is going to be throwing fuel on the fire. You just mark my words. I feel like if they are going to kill him and they go to actually do it, as long as he's a thing and he's in the headlines and you got people freaking out, they'll be torching places, just like BLM. No different. It's no different, man. It's no different. How many times did this BLM? How many times Michael Moore's or Freddie Gray's or all these different guys that were killed that the same thing happened. Here's one. They say that Nassau County is seeking to make it illegal to stand within 15 feet of a police officer during an emergency. So this is this is bad because, look, when you're in the streets doing what I do, like running the streets and like getting front row scoop of things, you are within, like, sometimes, like, you're elbow to elbow with cops on the front lines. You're getting tossed back and forth. I've had shotguns thrown in my face. I've been thrown off bridges. All from police. Hit with all kinds of chemical concoctions that they've got in their arsenal. All from just standing there trying to report and live stream. So now, a rule like this, if they come at you, say I'm standing against a wall, and I'm filming and I've been there all night, and they come at me for whatever reason, and they get within this 15 feet bubble, all they got to do is walk toward me, and as soon as they get within 15 feet, they can say, I go to jail. You're within 50 feet, you go to jail. So they can just roll right up on you and surprise you and be like, oh, guess what? You're within 15 feet of me, I'm taking you to jail. Be like, I didn't even know you were there. But this is what they can do. This is the type of dirty tactics they use out there. Trust me. We've been kettled by the police. It's a sick feeling. We were in downtown Ferguson, and they sealed off block by block, and we tried to escape, and I had my gun on me and everything. It was crazy. They cut us off, and I couldn't escape. It was, dude, when they cut off a city, and they seal off the area, and there's no way out, it is a sickening feeling. When they've got you, dude, it's almost like an army is like surrounded you, and like the emperor shows up because the chief showed up. It was giving this big spiel. It was pointing out people in the crowd saying, arrest that one, arrest that one. It was like a Gestapo. And I'm on the edge of this whole huge, massive crowd. I tried to slip away. I almost got away, and an APC armored vehicle threw it reverse, flew down the street in reverse, and was like, what do you think you're doing? And I'm like, them officers said that I could go to my car, and I've made up this whole concoction lie. And he's like, I don't think so. Come down here so we can check with them. And dude, it was the craziest thing I'd ever seen, man. That experience in terms of that. They locked us down cold. I don't know what I ended up doing, dude. But I got out of that bitch and I ran. And I ran for my life. I ran for my life. And I hit the woods in the dark. Ferguson, St. Louis, Missouri. Didn't know where I was at. And boy, I popped out in the back of these apartments. Out of breath, stumbling. And I ran up on this gang. A literal gang. In the hood. And I swear to you, one of them noticed me. Because they pulled on me. They pulled, like, what are you doing? Like, who were you? Like, you know, like, they could have killed me. And one of them was like, yo, that's that white boy that was live streaming down there on the main block. And they all just looked at me, and I'm out of breath. And they were like, what are you doing? Where are you going? And like, I'm running from the cops. And my gun came out. And like, I tucked it. And like, they were like, come this way. They ran me through this woods out into this opening and were like, go that way 2 blocks and you'll be to your destination. They got me out of there, man. Strangers from the hood, man. Because they knew I was running from a common enemy, the cops. It was crazy. But that's just how it is. Real recognize real. And much love to those dudes. They got me out of that night. But it wasn't no help to the cops. The cops are bad. The cops have been bad and mistreated me so many times in every city, in Cleveland, in Carolina, in Ferguson, in D.C. I can't tell you how many times. This goes on in Baltimore. I got stories for days, man. Anyhow, I'm going to keep it pushing. India, Pakistan, on the verge of World War III. This is pretty big because these guys are both nuclear. They could go hot. They control what I consider to be some of the most majestic and most important spiritual land on the planet. I believe that what's up in the Himalayas and all throughout that range, those ranges, I believe that is, when I say spiritual, I mean it. I believe, because it was written, that the spirit goes to the rock when you die. It was written. This is written in the book of Enoch, okay? In these books that they stripped out of your Bible. This is very important stuff, man. So it tells you that they made several different places in the rock. A place for the bad to go, the good to go, a place for those that have something to say to God. And this is where Enoch encountered Abel in there, which was shocking. And they tell the story that when the soul transitions, it goes to this area. And there's a spot where the soul can complain to God, basically. Where are these places at? There's several different candidates, like Mount Shasta and places like that, but Tibet, the Himalayas, this place has long been held and regarded as being that place. And I think it has something to do with it. And this is a heavily fought over area between all these countries, whether it's China and India or India, Pakistan or whoever. Every little square inch they fight over up there. And they won't just pull out guns. Like, they'll hand fight. They'll fist fight on the border up here. We've seen it. It's crazy. Gonna keep it pushing. Pakistan. They warn of huge war because India just did something that can cause it. First off, there is a deadly attack inside of India that comes from Pakistan. All kinds of people were killed, Buddhists, Hindus, Christians. They let the Muslims go. India says this is war. They've stopped anyone from entering the country. They stopped all visas, all everything. And they've cut off the water to Pakistan. Let me tell you, this is like biblical. Like shutting off the Euphrates. This is like biblical. Because this is going to dry up all these waterways going down through here, coming out of the Himalayas. And it's going to spark war. It's just that simple. They better hope that they can fix this quick, because this isn't looking good. Warships are in motion. Everything over, Kashmir, the whole nine. All these ancient places are hot war zones, man. I can't even go right across the border and study the closest ancient place. In Mexico, the Mayans and all their everything is hidden in the jungles because we could get kidnapped and get our tongues cut out and our heads chopped off by the cartels. It's pathetic. You can't go anywhere. We can't enjoy this world. We can't do nothing. We can't go research it. We can't do nothing. It's pathetic. It's gotten to a point to where I can agree why the souls would be complaining, just like in the days of Noah, that they didn't want to cycle back in here because it sucks. People are not free to flow, to live life. People should be told the truth about the Godhead instinctively. You know, how a bird just knows how to fly and how animals instinctively know things. Well, I want to back it up a hair. I think we were. Matter of fact, I know we were. It's called the pineal gland, the seat of the soul. You were never taught about it, is the thing. And they work hard to disconnect you from it. You see? We know this much. So, I guess, it's there. It's just, it's heavily attacked and there's no knowledge on it. You're not taught about it. And how to use it. This is where I was telling you in the last stream about raising your chrism. About becoming an antenna for them to see. You do this all through the organs in your body that do specific things. And the mind's eye does just that. It's very, very important. It even has its own lens, if you don't know. And it works. It's very real. I have accessed this personally. You can't control, well, you can control it to a degree, but I can't control. This is where, like, what they would call meditation comes in. But it's not meditation on what you think. All right? It's just zoned out on nothing. Like, no. At certain times, when I gotta lay down, and my mind is free. Jesus told you this. He hinted, and I told you he left us hints. He told you, take no thought for your life. I'm trying to give you keys. He told you to take no thought for your life. Let everything go. So after a long day of work, get out of the shower, lay down at the bed, and you're not thinking of nothing. Mind's you're just present. You close your eyes. And if you're living right, you will start to see the energy swirl. It pulses. It goes in and out. It goes in, out. In, out. In, out. It gets brighter as it comes in, and it fades out. And this is it. Within it comes imagery, colors, visions. Whatever the source is showing you can be tapped into. Do you understand this? Most people are blind to it and will live this life and die oblivious to this. He told you to take no thought. He told you to seek the kingdom of God within you. Did he not? Yes, he did. I'm trying to get you tuned. You're running out of time. You got to start living good in the right way, first and foremost. You have to listen and do what they said. If you created life and you gave them some simple rules and you went back and you were going to gather the ones that listened, it's the same thing, dude. Like, people need to listen. And they need to live the way that the Creator told us to, by design, to get the fullest out of it. And when you do, there's a connection to be had. And you're missing it. People, it's there. I've experienced it. I've given these things, I've experienced it. And again, I can't control it. Matter of fact, my problem in the beginning was trying to look at it with my eyes, my two eyes in my head. When it comes to you, it's not coming via the eyes. And you have to learn this. It's coming via the mind's eye. And you have to learn that that's what it is. You are seeing it through the mind's eye. Right? I've experienced this. I can speak on it. Okay? And I'm telling you, if you've not experienced this in life, you've got some things to do before, like, you check out again and you miss this. Okay? Clear your mind. Yes. You just simply clear your mind. This is why he also said, don't worry about tomorrow because it'll bring its own worries. You know what I'm saying? Not to not plan for tomorrow, but to have no fear and to not live in fear. You see, live in the moment, present in the moment. And if you are that way, you clear your mind, amazing things happen. This is where you can set visions and go after them. And trust me, I know it's real. The law of attraction's real. It's very real. You have to tune it. You have to focus in on all this stuff. It's pretty simple. Yes, do good. Walk righteous. Someone could be born into this life, just a pure angel at heart and soul, and walk righteous, do all good things, and make it out of this place. It's very rare. It's hard to find anyone good these days. I come across a lot of people, man. And in this day and age, it's just full of wickedness and evil. People that just either want to use you or end up backstabbing you or get jealous and envious of you, or just one way or another, they're not good people. This is why he said, love. Love is key because the vibration and the frequency, and it's all real. All right, I'm gonna try to keep this pushing here. Let me throw an update out there on this Panama deal. I don't think that Trump's gonna back down on this. I think this is gonna be a flashpoint of war with China. China had a delegation spotted entering the Treasury Department today. And what was crazy is like the Chinese demanded that all their people be kept secret, that like their faces be covered and like all this other stuff. What was surprising is Washington did it. They hit these people's faces, and like that's garbage. Like, especially coming from China with the enemy combatants in here. If there's someone coming into this country and like you're having meetings with them, we should be able to see. Period. The fact that you're hiding people doesn't set well with me. And the fact that it's the Chinese of all people, they don't even hide Netanyahu's crew when he comes in here. Their faces. But you're hiding all the Chinese faces. Like, and they did it. I mean, come on, it's the land of the free and everything else. Like, why'd they even comply? But they did. Trump, again, asserts that he's dead serious about Canada becoming the 51st state. And he goes on to say, look, he says, I'm not trolling. He says, I'm really not trolling. Because, like, people, again, don't want to take him serious. I'm taking him serious. This is the same thing that happened when he announced Space Force. People laughed it off like idiots, act like it couldn't be true, and it obviously is. And they ate crow real quick after that. Well, people it's kind of the same thing. I told you where this is going, though. This is never going to be Canada gives up its sovereignty, Greenland gives up its sovereignty. It's not going to be that. It's they join an economic and military pact called the North American Union. That's always been it. Trump's the man. He's going to try to make it happen. And he's got his whole base buffaloed. Before Trump came along, some of those same people would have been like, oh yeah, North American Union. Now that we're bringing it up, they're crickets. And it's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. It's disgusting. Grown-ass men that I had love for and had some faith in, I've lost all in. Because all they do is sit there every day and tweet stuff on Trump and parrot Trump crap and never face the fire on these hard questions. Never. It's absolutely disgusting and pathetic. And they know it. Deep down inside, they know it. I hope it eats them alive. They're going to have to go before the Most High in the end. And they're going to have to answer, when they're asked, but not me, but a higher source, like, why'd you sell your people out to the beast? Because that's what you've done. That's what you've done. By not calling out all the wrongs, you're a sellout. And you're a fool. I hope selling all that product was worth it. Wonder what's happened to all of our militia, all of our patriots. They've been sucked up into the black magic MAGA movement. And, I put enough faith in half these guys. Half the guys that I thought would be patriots and this and that, like, years ago, they've proven to me otherwise. You're a Fed, is what you are. You're a Fed. That's what you are. You're the enemy. You're running with the Fed, pandering to them, rubbing elbows with the Gentile Messiah. Oh, you're too deep in the game now. I guess that's what it's like getting jumped into a gang. You're in the gang, right? You're too deep into the Trump train. Can't jump off now and get ran over by it, right? Well, some people got some choices to make. As the true colors come out, as more things come out, we ain't gonna stop calling it out. It's all day, baby, here. And they can't stand it. Again, I've got people that I consider to be good people, good friends throughout the years, that at this point, the line's drawn in the sand. If you're going to stand over there with the Gentile Messiah, see you, partner. I gave you the benefit of the doubt that Trump was better than Biden. That was a small-minded, easy litmus test. Duh, yeah. Duh, but it's left-right paradigm, dude. And you should know this. The sad part is some of these people do know this. And it's like, dude, then what are you doing? Then what are you doing? I know you know the difference. You're just playing this. You've done effed up. You done effed up. You should be over here calling him out instead of pandering to him on X all day long. It's sick. That's what's happened to our patriots, if you guys want to know where they went to and what's happened to them. Yeah. Until somebody checks them and gets them straightened out, we're screwed. Absolutely screwed.
Using a lot of pressure on both. You know, if you think we're just in there because we're nice people, and we are nice people, but we're using a lot of pressure on both.
What concessions, Mr. President, and to your national security team, what concessions has Russia offered up thus far to get to the point where you're closer to peace?
Stopping the war, taking the whole country. Pretty big concession.
That right there by Trump was a huge admission. They just ask, what concession are they giving in this peace stuff? And he said, they're agreeing not to take the whole country. That is a massive admission. Trump is stating that, dude, Russia's won this. It's over. It's flat. It's done. Without us, I mean, we backed this. The West started this, funded this whole damn thing. And they're like we've lost this. We've lost it without admitting we're taking a loss. He's trying to turn the tables around with this administration and act like we're backing out of it a different way. It never would have happened if he was president, yada yada. Well, he's just admitted that Russia's concession is they're agreeing to back off, to not take the whole freaking country. That's what's about to happen. Russia just pounded Kiev. Just pounded it. And they did it. Zelensky was in Africa for whatever freaking reason. But if he was in Kiev, they would have been trying to decapitate him. To me, it needs to happen. He needs taken out. He needs removed. And he's hindering this whole process. I can't stand the guy. I'm sick of seeing his face. I'm sick of talking about him. I'm sick of this repeated crap. And it all getting stalled out. If he's that big of a problem, get him out of there. Check this out. If Ukraine cannot reach an agreement to restructure all this debt, it's going to default on its first $600 million payment. I have a feeling they're about to just flip the bird to Trump in the U.S. We're on the cusp of major fracturing in the war, in the globe. Really, the way that it's set up. Because the West is truly breaking away from Europe in their ideology and everything that they're doing here. Away from even the UN. Israel and the United States said, F them. We're done with them. Said the same thing about the WHO. All of them. It's a restructuring of the world order to a multipolar world order. And that's it. That's what it is here at this point. And it breaks it down into blocks. And again, what this will lead to is a North American Union. Europe did it. No one gave up their sovereignty, so to speak. That's how they tricked them. You know, it became the European Union. And all these European countries are in it. They still kept their sovereignty, so to speak, but they got suckered into it. They got pulled into it. Okay? The North American is the next block to form. Trump's your man. Trump's the man doing it. And Trump says straight up that Putin is easier to deal with than Zelensky at this point. That Zelensky's just, they've had it with him. And since they haven't stopped fighting, a senior Russian general gets assassinated in a car blast inside of Russia. So this is definitely heated full-scale war at this point. Assassinations, everything else. North Korea apparently supplied the missiles that hit Kiev. They're saying that these missiles were huge, and they're reporting that they were the KN-23 ballistics. And if bringing North Korean troops into the battlefield in Ukraine wasn't the first sign of a world war, Like, this definitely is. Their troops are there, Chinese troops are there, artillery, all of it. Like, these are multi-countries fighting on these war fronts. That's world war by definition. So I'm going to play this clip here. I'm going to back it up. That's a big hit. It's not a small missile, it's a big missile right there hit that they dropped in Kiev. So that now they're into the major city. They're into the major city of Kiev. Huge explosions. This hasn't happened the entire war. All right? You're down to the final city. You're down to Kiev. I mean, this hasn't happened. Now they're pounding it. Like, either this thing comes to a peaceful agreement or a huge nuke is about to be dropped. Is how I feel. Don't put it past somebody to drop a tactical nuke. They can drop tactical nukes with huge explosive power that don't give off big yields of radiation. They've mastered this at this point, and they want to use them. Kremlin issues a nuclear warning, and it's a veiled threat, so to speak. And this is a fresh one. They put out a warning, and they say, we want to remind everyone that we will use our nukes if there's funny business. And if anyone thinks that they're going to go and show aggression against Belarus, they want to remind everyone that they redid their nuclear doctrine here recently, and it includes Belarus. And that if anyone messes with Russia or Belarus, they will get nuked. Okay, so that's a buddy right there. They got a buddy in Belarus, let me tell you. That's an ally. That's, I mean, tighter than China, tighter than anybody. That's one going to the end with right there. It's good to have someone like that, have your back. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, but you, right there, you ain't breaking that up. You ain't, them dudes to the death right there. And you know it. Right? And they just signified it. Like, you mess with either one, you get nuked. They also say that really, at this point, the only thing that can offset talks outside of Zelensky ruining it is if a flood of NATO troops comes into Ukraine. It will set into motion what they say could trigger World War III, because nukes will fly. Or big, huge tactical nukes will fly, at least. They'll strike them. Soon as they see them assembling, they will strike them. They're all the way to Kiev. As Trump just said, dude, they're about to take the whole freaking country. Our president just admitted that. So, they're done. They're done. Like, I honestly feel that this whole crap with Zelensky and Africa and all this, it's keeping him in a safe place. That's all it is. Without making it look like he's on the run. Without making it look like he's running for his life. Right now. Because that's what's happening. If they knew where he was at, they would strike it. I'm going to tell you that that's about to happen. They're going to ratchet this up. If we can't get peace deals. And I'm also going to say that at this point, Trump and the West would probably back it and support it. Everyone supports a new open election to get a new face in there. Okay, so Russia also says that peace will only be achieved when Ukraine withdraws from the 4 annexed territories. That is Luhansk, Donetsk, Zaporizhia, and Kherson. I also got to throw in there Crimea, but they don't even mention Crimea because they're like, that's not even up for debate. Like, there's not even battle there. Like, they control Crimea. And I dropped a video on Crimea that is worth checking out the knowledge. There is a former Russian military guy that became a scientist and researcher. Vitaly is his name. He went through the area of Crimea and started to research and dig. And at first they were looking for groundwater, water that they could utilize for whatever. And he made a device to help them search for it. Well, when looking throughout the Sevastopol area in Crimea, he discovered underground anomalies, like in the end, over 40 across the whole area. But what was really crazy is right through Sevastopol and right where Russia has its military bases and everything else, they found 7 large pyramid-shaped structures. One of which is also underwater, out in the water. And the reason being is because there's an ancient town there, and it too is underwater. And this is all real deal. Now, the Western scientists haven't approved of none of this or said anything for one main reason. They can't get in there to approve it. Russia's had control of this pretty much the whole time. Even when they gave it over to Ukraine as like a gift, the Soviet Union, they still had the military bases set up there and had an agreement that if we give you this piece of land, we're keeping our base. And Ukraine was like, yeah, sure. You know, you're just going to give us this place? Yeah. You know, like, heck yeah. You can keep your bases there. You know, fast forward to today, it's a whole different ideal. Like, the West got in there and turned. They ran out the elected government is what they did. That's what happened under the Obama administration. Maidan came in there and ran out the elected government. And where did he run to? Into Russia. That's how this whole thing began, man. And when Trump came onto the scene the first time, this whole thing went away. And then Biden came onto the scene, it all came back into play. Trump's back on the scene. They're trying to get it done and over with for good. And that, to me, opens the door to the South China Sea in the Middle East, both flaring up. But yes, I dropped a video called, Is This the Reason for War? Ancient structures and pyramids found in Crimea. I just dropped one yesterday, I believe it was, on it. Check that out on my channel. I dive into deeper details on it in the video, and I show pictures, and I show the shaft that they found in the area which they're talking about. And it's of the most ancient areas on the planet. This whole area is of the most ancient, all the way up to the Caucasus Mountains and all that, all the ancient stuff, the giant stuff, things of that nature. The Romans controlled these areas, the Greeks, the Turks, many different civilizations. So no telling what all is really there. As I said, there's no telling what's right over in Mexico, but you can't go explore because it's under threat of getting killed. Thank you, E. So the Kremlin is praising, Russia is praising Trump on his view on Crimea. Trump is flat out, if you haven't noticed, he just come out and said, look, like, I just told you, I showed you. He said, look, like, Zelensky's just got to give it up or they're going to lose the whole country. And that, like, Crimea is Russia's. Like, just give it to them. Like, get over it. It's theirs. Now, when it comes to Europe, I'm going to tell you now, Europe doesn't see it that way. Europe is not even talking about the other 4 territories that Russia is now annexed. All they have their eye on is Crimea. That's all they've had their eye on this whole time. Why? Why? What is so important? Well, I think I've done told you. I think it is the ancient stuff. That's all they've ever been hell-bent on getting. Hell, they went into Iraq just to dig up Gilgamesh, and we know this. And Stargates and all the other ancient stuff. Surely, yeah, there's ancient stuff here. And it looks like they're just not going to get their hands on it. Russia is in possession of it, and that's where it's going to stay at the moment. It's just like some could say the Ark of the Covenant is in Ethiopia, under their control, inside of a building. Everybody knows it's there. It's been there. And it's just one of them things like, it's as the story goes, it's going to stay there. Yeah. Kiev's mayor has more sense than Zelensky. He has admitted that they will cede land to Russia. And that's a big admission. That's just like Trump just telling you, look, these guys are going to have to give up some land, or Russia's just going to come in and take the whole thing. So, we're getting closer, I feel. The allies are arguing no. Again, like I just said, it's a bunch of garbage. I don't even call them allies at this point. World's a stage. So Trump admits he could meet Putin very shortly, right after his Middle East trip. So his Gulf tour, as they put it, is set for May 13th through the 16th. So that's here in a couple weeks. You know, to me, again, the world's a stage. If you really wanted peace, if they called tonight and were like, look, let's meet, blah, 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 let's do it, then you would make it happen. You know, so, again, the world's a stage. But they keep kicking the can on everything. Here is an expert on our military and munitions coming out and saying that, look, if we got into a hot war at this point right now, we would not last a week. Not a week. Because we've been degraded. And Trump and this administration hasn't had enough time to get us built back up. Everything that we do have still is getting sent to Ukraine.
The reality is like, if we got
So
into a
listen to
hot
this.
conflict with a great power, we would run out of munitions in a week. Like,
It's crazy.
gone. And you know, we've built these
By the way, I have like
capabilities.
friends in the military who like they barely are able to shoot rounds like in practice.
Yeah.
Like they're not
Totally.
allowed to do that because the rounds are way more expensive than they should be. And there's a limited number.
That's right. Yeah. And you know, we've built these capabilities that are incredibly exquisite. They are incredibly custom. They have really complicated supply chains. And what that means is that, you know, our partner nations like Saudi Arabia, for example, is fighting this kind of ongoing conflict with the Houthis. They've got stuff being shot into their sovereign territory and, you know, creating havoc on a daily basis. And we cannot sell them enough Patriot missiles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they literally have to go to other partner nations and try to buy their inventory of Patriot missiles. And then you see situations like Ukraine where we deplete not only the available inventory, we also deplete our own inventory of the capabilities that we're sending them in order to support the war effort, with no ability to actually resupply. Like, the primes are literally calling people out of retirement to rebuild assembly lines to make some of these capabilities.
Pulling people out of retirement. We're in that bad a shape. Man. And we're lacking ammunition that bad. This is, oh my gosh. This ain't good. In the meantime, in Syria, we've got the Alawite women being taken as sex slaves and the Christians being slaughtered, and no one's saying nothing about it. This is happening all over the world. Again, Trump and them just turn a cheek to it. It's disgusting. When we call them out on it, the Trumpers run the other way. It's just so pathetic. Genocide all over the place. We want to bring it up. People don't even want to talk about it. You just wait till they bring it to you. There's going to be no one that comes to the rescue. Do you hear me? Because you sat there and you turned a cheek. When it comes to you, and trust me, they're bringing it to you, there's going to be no one to come rescue you. You better click up. You better get your people together right now. It's all you're going to have. It's all we've ever had anyway. Ain't no one coming to the rescue till the Messiah touches down. Until then, it's just war, and rumors of war. And big war. Just slaughter all the time. The FBI suggests that Venezuela is likely facilitating the use of Trinidad Iroquois and their members, and they're using them to undermine things in the United States. They also see that these are going to be used. You might as well say that Trinidad Iroquois is working hand in hand with the cartels, because they're going to be using them as frontline mercenary soldiers to pull off attacks in this country as soon as this thing goes hot. They're all going to be working together with a common enemy being the United States. You see? You see what's happened? Because it was these cartels that helped funnel all these people in here to begin with. You guys see this? Do you putting it together now? It's one huge connection. They helped bring them in there. They knew who these guys are. They're basically their foot soldiers. They brought them in here. They helped get them in here. So they're working hand in hand. So when it comes to the cartels and Tren de Aragua, they're going hand in hand, man. They're literally working together. You need to see this clearly, because that's what these individuals are. Here we've got one, an illegal alien released by Joe Biden was arrested for raping a little boy. He caught the little boy playing right outside broad daylight. And this is happening left and right because, again, they're letting these goons, these animals, onto the streets to commit these crimes. You got murderers and rapists. They should have a one-way ticket to somewhere not good, but definitely out of this country.
Hello. Today I'm actually going to take a play out of one of my fellow sheriff's playbooks because I believe this situation calls for it. Today I want to introduce you to Samuel Cobos Carmona. He also goes by the alias of Samuel Cardona. Samuel entered the United States from Mexico back in August of 21, and he was shipped back to Mexico. He illegally entered again sometime in early 2022, where he fled from Texas authorities, and a warrant was issued for his arrest. He was located in Sarasota, Florida in July of 2024, but because of the Biden-Harris catch and release policies, he was released back into our community. So now let's fast forward to April 13th, 2025, Charlotte County, Florida. This individual befriended a 13-year-old and an 8-year-old and decided to play a game of hide and seek. While in the woods with these two, he sexually battered a 13-year-old child, both orally and anally. The subject was later located and arrested by Charlotte County deputies, where he admitted to his crime. Now, people often question why myself and my fellow sheriffs in the state of Florida are working with our federal partners to round individuals like this up to get them the hell out of here. This is why. And those sanctuary cities and states that are putting these individuals' safety in front of the safety and security of our citizens and our children, they ought to be ashamed of themselves. Now, we're going to work very hard with the state attorney's office and our federal partners to make sure that this individual does not see the light of day again. And if he does,
And that's how it should be, all the way across the board. The illegal thing, I think you guys know, is just, it's on a whole nother level. I really, at this point, they could say that they're taking out thousands and thousands. I still feel that, I feel like an event's going to happen. I guess only time will tell in the end here. So, this brings me to the last thing I'm going to talk on. I'm going to speak on the situation with the Pope here real quick before we get out of here. To give some shout outs, and I'm going to jump to the emails and check them real quick, see if there's any questions, anything going on. The Pope, as you can see right here on the screen, well, Pope Francis obviously gone. And I gave you a list last time. We went through all the contenders And I told you right at the gate who I thought it was going to be, just because of his name. This is the top 6 now that they have boiled this down to. The top 6 candidates. I mean, they haven't even got to voting or anything close to it yet, but they're already telegraphing who this is going to be, in my opinion. So, you got Cardinal Robert Serra, and then you got Cardinal Pisapala. You've got Archbishop Budapest. You've got Cardinal Peter Erdo. He is another Peter that hung in there to the top. He's the conservative Peter. You've got, but he's from Hungary. You've got Cardinal Matteo Zuppi and Cardinal Luis Anton Gokum, and then Cardinal Pietro Parolin. This is Pietro Parolin. This is Peter the Roman by name, right here in the middle on the bottom with the red cap. He holds the highest position inside the Vatican right now. He has all the power right now. He had all the power underneath of Francis, and he helped to select a majority of the people that are on the committee that are going to vote for the next pope. He is the one red cap here. Again, he is the one that carries the name Peter the Roman. He is the most powerful person in position right this very moment. And he is the one that said and held all the final prayers over Francis. This is the high contender, but again, it's down to these 6 faces as the main ones, as many people see it. I'm telling you, the man front and center on the bottom. I don't know what else to say besides what I've said already many times. By definition, he is Peter the Roman. He is Peter the Roman. He's the only one from Italy that could literally take the name. I don't know. No one else stands out more. Like, no one else on this list. The only other person that I would give a chance to, is the other Peter from Hungary. And then somehow they can attribute it, that all of his power is out of Rome. And it's Peter the Roman, whatever, that way. That's the only other one. They don't even have Turkson up here on this one. They've basically boiled it down to the 6. I'm telling you, with 2 Peters in the lineup, one's the Roman and one is already that. I've done told you, man. So, false prophets, end time. I mean, we're in crazy times. Final pope stepping onto the scene. All the time that's went by, the final circle on the walls of the basilica will be filled in with this image of one of these faces. I believe this, man. But regardless, the final one stepping onto the scene. We are in crazy times, man. Remember, Damascus could fall at any time. With all the fighting and all the tension, everything going on there. That's biblical. We're in truly biblical times out there. The synagogue of Satan will have a new head under the white banner. You have to understand this as well. The Pope isn't the high and mighty, the all-powerful in there. He has a boss, believe it or not. And that is the Black Pope. That's right. It's the truth, and it's the real deal. It's the hierarchy, and it's all a Jesuit command. And that's how this whole thing runs and operates. In all the evils connected to it. So, right. We'll turn it over to the chat here. Check the email real quick as well. Again, much love to everybody out there, everybody joining for the stream tonight. At least this one ended up being smoother than the last one. I want to thank any of you that sent super chats. Any of you guys out there that support the channel, buy coffees, share the stream, get it out there in front of eyes that I can't reach. I appreciate it to the fullest. Dabu7@yahoo.com is the email. And Mike Scott saying, unsubscribed. Yeah, and like, look, D. White and others were saying this at the beginning of the stream. This is unfortunate. This is the tactic that they use on people like me. They don't send out notifications. They unsubscribe people. It happens to me from other accounts. I try to keep tabs on my own accounts, and I find out that the same things have happened to me. But I'm like, no one's going to believe me if I tell them that, I've been unsubscribed from my own channel, or I don't get no notifications. But when you are constantly telling me this, it screams at me. It screams volumes. So tonight, it's been a big issue with even my mod was unsubbed. D. White. Just nuts. So yeah, I hope if it happens again, just keep letting me know, please. Keep emailing me like that. It's the best way to get a message through to me. Let me keep on scrolling here. Let me see what I got. How do we get into the underground project? Okay, well, I've tried to show this on the end of the past couple shows, and I'll do one more. I'll do another rundown real quick for trying to educate people, for those that want to be a part of the project as it's growing. Now is definitely the time to get involved in it. I will also say this. We've got big things coming for this week. In the coming weeks, some big announcements and events. Let me just make an announcement right now. At 11/11, much love to everybody out there. Under is going to be launching an airdrop event come Monday. So Monday, we looked at that. What an airdrop is free coins, free under tokens to be distributed to the people that drop their Solana address. We will in turn send you your cut of, we're going to have millions we're giving away just to promote it and help get it out there and all that stuff. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to be pushing a big push for the underground project. I told you we're taking it serious. We're putting it all into this, and not just going to let it sit there and die. It's either you let something sit there and die, or you promote it, you push it, and you believe in it. I created this to give you guys an opportunity. And thus far, it's been amazing to me to create something that people can invest in and just be able to get something out of, to make something out of, and tax-free at that, per the Trump administration. So it's been awesome to create it, and I always wanted to have a chest on underground over here on YouTube. D Live had a chest. I could open the chest and I could give back. And it was one of the coolest things about D Live, is I could fill the chest with coins and I could give back to the people. I'd give back to you. Well, like, this is like the closest thing that I could do to it. And like, we're looking to keep it leveling up from here. Again, big airdrop event coming up, and then another event after that. But for those, again, that want to know how to get in, you've got to start with Coinbase. And I really can't, it's just something you're just going to have to go over and sign up and get signed into and do to get your initial coinage. There's videos out there on all this stuff to do. But what a lot of people have questions for is how this wallet login thing is. And you basically hit login and you select a wallet and you create a wallet through Phantom. Phantom or those other places. And once you create the wallet, you can go to login and confirm it. And it will have you logged in. It's that simple. It's very simple. Just create the wallet, send your money over to the wallet, log in with it, and you're good. And you can operate with your wallet that way. That's how you're going to operate on all these DEXs, any of these exchanges. You have to have a wallet to access it to get in. It's kind of like your login credentials. So that's it. There's links below in the description. Again, if you've got questions, hit me up, dabu7@yahoo.com. I'll do my best to try to respond back or answer them live right here on the show like I'm doing. Make sure you're following me on X as well. Look to be back here Friday or Monday at this point. Time's flying. Friday's done in the books, huh? Going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here, Underground World News Live. Again, if the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I'd look to see some of you guys here next time for some Underground World News Live. Yes. Much love. God bless. Much love, Uncommon. Yes, Money Mike. Yes. Much love, veterans. Professor. Riley, Carrie, Steve, Quantum, Gary, JT, Mo Money, Archer, Eon, Mark. Much love, all you guys. Q City. Eon. Legendary. Always coming through, man. I can't thank you enough, brother. Can't thank you enough, man. Much love. God bless y'all. And thank you, Silver Sailor. 1,700 rockets on under. Just rocking it. Much love, Japan.